CJ Rambler here, and I'm here to give a recap of the second episode of the newest season of RuPaul's Drag Race. And I decided to bring my little friend along here, Brando. Every time I do these videos, he is sitting on the floor looking up at me, and I can just see in his eyes he's saying, "Please let me in the video, please let me be in the show." But, you know, I decided to give in this time and let him get a little bit of screen time. Not too much, though, because he's so cute. I know he'll take away all the attention from me. So say hi to everyone, Brando. Hi! Mwah. All right, that's enough of you. Time to do the recap, okay? So there is a lot to cover in this episode. We learned a lot about the queens this week. For example, Kim Chi is a virgin. We also learned that a lot of the queens on this show were former chubbies when they were little kids. Dax Exclamation Point, Acid Betty, and Kim Chi were all pretty chubby when they were kids, but it looks like it's done them well now. Last week, Naysha Lopez sashayed away, and honestly, I don't think it was that bad of a choice for the judges to make. She seemed pretty mediocre to me. After all the girls got together and started talking about the past elimination and everything like that, it was time for the first mini challenge for all these girls. For this week's mini challenge, the girls had to do a Latin dance-off with A.B. Soto, and he came out in this really awesome pink little flamingo outfit, and I have to say, I'm liking your style there, A.B. When it came to watching the queens do the dance, there were a few that really stood out for good reasons and a couple that stood out for bad reasons. So let's start off with the bad ones because that's always the most fun. Kim Chi, you may be able to do a lot of good makeup and you may look awesome on the runway, but boy, this girl cannot dance. She has 2 left feet and it was pretty hard to watch. We saw Chi Chi DeVayne do a death drop, which is always fun on RuPaul's Drag Race, and Cynthia Lee Fontaine did an awesome job shaking her jelly. And then Thorgy Thor came out there and did a crazy dance. And I have to say, I know a lot of people really like Thorgy. I just don't get it. I mean, he makes me laugh sometimes, but I really don't care for his looks on the runway, and I don't like how he communicates with the other queens. I'm just not a fan of his. Maybe I'll learn to like him eventually. The winners of the mini challenge, Cynthia Lee Fontaine and Chi Chi DeVayne, and I can't say I disagree. So for the main challenge, or I guess as RuPaul calls it, the Maxi Challenge, can someone please explain to me why it's called the Maxi Challenge? I know that he started saying that last season. I don't understand why he says that, so someone please enlighten me. So anyway, for their Maxi Challenge, the girls were doing a theme inspired by the movie Pitch Perfect, which, get this, Kim Chi has never seen Pitch Perfect. Each of the girls was divided up into 2 teams, so that way they could do an a cappella lip sync against each other on the main stage. On Cynthia Lee Fontaine's team, we had Bob the Drag Queen, Derek Barry, Layla McQueen, Robbie Turner, and Kim Chi. She was picked last, and even she said to herself, "I wouldn't want me on the team." On Chi Chi DeVayne's team, we had Acid Betty, Thorgy Thor, Dax Exclamation Point, and Naomi Smalls. Oh, and by the way, Cynthia Lee Fontaine's team was named the Lady Bitches, and Chi Chi DeVayne's team was named the Shady Bitches. So when it came to rehearsals, it seemed like Chi Chi DeVayne's team was really not getting along. Acid Betty, aka Pepper, demanding and criticizing a Chi Chi DeVayne. She even threw her under the bus when RuPaul came into the room to ask the teams how they were doing. They just being a bunch of bitches to each other. They kept criticizing each other's dance moves and saying, "Oh, this isn't right." Thorgy Thor was saying, "I'm not going to listen to what Chi Chi DeVayne has to say. I'm just going to do what I feel." Which, really? And is it just me, or is Acid Betty being a bitch just to be a bitch? Could she be doing this for more screen time? I have a feeling she might be. After meeting with all the girls and seeing how they were doing, RuPaul introduced a new thing on this show called the Shade Tree. It's like basically a mini confessional for the queens to go in there. We only saw it used once in this episode, but I have a feeling we're going to see it used a lot more throughout the show. So once the queens went into rehearsals with choreographer Jamal Sims, they all started dancing and getting their choreography down, and Kim Chi fell. But you know, at least she had a good attitude about it. You know, there were some girls that weren't doing well at dancing, but you know, at least Kim Chi laughed it off and tried to make the best of it, and it also helped that she had a really supportive team behind her. So when it came to Chi Chi DeVayne's team, also known as the Shady Bitches, I have to say, I was worried security was going to have to come in. She and Acid Betty started just going at it on the stage, fighting like crazy, and then you had Dax Exclamation Point, which I don't know if someone was pouring buckets of water on him throughout the show because he was just dripping in sweat the whole time. It didn't even look like they were doing a lot of dancing in the beginning, and he was just drenched. So what was up with that? And then you also had Thorgy Thor, who, again, I just don't understand Thorgy's appeal. He was just cracking jokes and being really mean to Chi Chi DeVayne, but at the same time, he did say he would defend Chi Chi on the main stage, so maybe RuPaul will get me to like him. All I could think was, poor Naomi, she's just standing there watching everyone argue and fight, and she's probably thinking, gosh, I look so good, and the cameras aren't even on me right now because they're too busy fighting. So before getting ready to go on the main stage, the girls got in their makeup and their outfits, and Acid Betty admitted to Kim Chi that she was hitting on her the very first time she met her. According to her, she was hitting on her hard. I don't know if Acid Betty's the first one I want hitting on me. And then we were brought to the main stage where RuPaul introduced the judges, Michelle Visage, Lucian Piani. I do like some Lucian. We had Jamal Sims, the choreographer that guided them through rehearsals. And we had Esther Dean. She is the girl from Pitch Perfect. And RuPaul actually said that she had written a lot of songs like Firework and S&M, so I'm liking her. So now it was time to watch the girls perform Pitch Perfect on the main stage. And I have to say, I was really impressed. I actually think this is one of the best performances I've seen on the show as a whole. So just to point out a couple girls on here, Team Lady Bitches, I thought Bob the Drag Queen was hilarious. Is it just me, or did Layla McQueen look just like Regina George in Mean Girls? And then again, Kim Chi can't dance, but she definitely made the most of it by being really cute on stage and really funny and humorous, and I thought she definitely made the best of it, so I was really impressed with her. In fact, if I had to pick a best performer on that team, it would probably be her. Cynthia Lee Fontaine lost a shoe while they were performing on stage, which got the judges all riled up. And then for the Shady Bitches, I have to say, despite all of their beef, all of their arguing, all that negative energy, they killed it. They demolished Lady Bitches. I thought that Chi Chi DeVayne's upside down split up in the air while still lip syncing was phenomenal. I thought that even though I don't care for Thorgy, I thought she did a really good job bringing a lot of humor to it. Acid Betty, again, great choreography on her part, and she also did a really great job lip syncing. Also, I thought Naomi Smalls looked just like Aaliyah. She looked phenomenal. Of all the girls, she definitely looked the best on the team. Dax, I have to say, just looked like he was over it the whole time. He looked like he didn't know what he was doing and like he didn't really want to try. So overall, I think Shady Bitches definitely outperformed Lady Bitches, but again, I thought both teams did a really, really great job. So for the main stage runway looks, the theme was Movie Premiere Realness. First up was Cynthia Lee Fontaine. Nah, nothing really impressive there. Next up was Bob the Drag Queen. Last week, he was giving me Viola Davis realness. This week, Macy Gray. I love the big afro, and I love the long black gown with the sheer around the legs. Next up was Derek Barry, rocking a short little dress for a Vegas red carpet that was covered in sequins. Sequins. Layla McQueen came up next, and she had this hideous green gown. I did not like it. It did nothing for her body. And then she had like this bright blue hair, which, I mean, it just didn't look very well constructed or put together, if you ask me. Up next, we have Robbie Turner giving us a little bit of Marilyn Monroe mixed with Rita Hayworth and wearing this gorgeous big red poofy dress. Definitely one of my favorite looks of the week. Kim Chi came out on stage, and she just reminded me of a big giant Barbie. I just thought she looked absolutely gorgeous. Again, her makeup was easily the strongest of the girls, and I loved her hair. And then next up, we had Chi Chi DeVayne. Is it just me, or did she look just like Cheryl Lee Ralph on stage? I really liked her red gown. Michelle Visage thought it was way too safe, but all the other judges seemed to really like it. And I also like it that she pointed out that she did the figure 8 on stage, which is pretty much like doing a little S on stage when the drag queens walk. So she clearly knows what she's doing. Naomi Smalls came out on stage. I have to say, this might be my favorite look of the week. I loved the legs, I loved the waviness of the dress, I loved the hair and the makeup. She just looked phenomenal. And then next up on the runway was Acid Betty. I actually think this dress reminded me a lot of an outfit that Detox wore in season 5. You guys might remember it. It's a bit of a nude color with some black lining on it, and only I think Detox worked it way better. I thought this outfit was way too busy, which is odd because it was like a nude illusion. And then next up was Dax exclamation point. I just thought this was such a boring look. I hated the hemline on this dress. It was like all feathered and worn out, and the colors weren't working for me, and the little flower in the hair, and none of this really worked for me. It was very, very flatlining for me. And then last up was Thorgy Thor. Now, I do have to give Thorgy some credit. She definitely went for a completely different theme, and she wore this really awesome sequin jumpsuit and had the big afro going on, and I really liked it. Again, not a big fan of Thorgy, and I do feel like any other queen could have worn that and did it just as well, but you know, I'm going to give Thorgy some credit here. It was probably one of my favorite looks of the week. So now it's time to find out who's on the top and who's on the bottom. And you definitely don't want to be on the bottom. In most cases. At the top of the pack, we had Thorgy Thor, who the judges loved his outfit, loved his energy on the stage, thought he was a big standout. Then we had Kim Chi, who was also on the top. The judges thought Kim Chi, from the sounds of it, had one of the best looks, but they kept pointing out that she couldn't dance, even though they thought that she still did a really good job making up for the fact that she couldn't dance. The judges, all with the exception of Michelle Visage, thought that Chi Chi DeVayne's look was really great, and they also all thought that she did a phenomenal job in the challenge. Acid Betty's look was kind of in the middle for the judges, but again, they thought she did a really great job stepping it up in the challenge, and then Michelle Visage challenged her to step it up even more, because from the sounds of it, she is doing better than everyone else. In the bottom, we had Dax exclamation point, who the judges did not like her look and thought that she kind of blended into the background in the challenge. Also on the bottom, we had Layla McQueen. Again, the judges thought that her look was very mediocre, and they thought that in the challenge, when she was dancing against the other girls, she felt almost sheepish, like she didn't belong there. And the winner of this challenge, Chi Chi DeVayne. Yay! I actually really like Chi Chi, and I remember prior to the show, I figured I really like her look, but something tells me she's going to get booted pretty early on, but so far she's doing pretty well, so I hope that she keeps it up. We had Thorgy Thor, Acid Betty, and Kim Chi all safe, so in the bottom two, it was Dax exclamation point and Layla McQueen. The song that the girls lip sync to, I Will Survive. Yay! How is it that the song has not been lip synced on the show yet? It's the 8th season, and this is like a quintessential gay iconic song. And actually, I will say, I'm not going to give a spoiler away yet, before the girls lip sync, the judges kind of went on and on about how this is such an iconic song. This is a song that any queen would want to lip sync to. So it made me think, okay, something here is going to happen, good or bad. And Dax exclamation point, the queen who I think is full of excuses, again, before lip syncing to the song said, I don't really do disco, but I guess I can try to make the best of it. Really, queen? So when it came to the lip sync, I thought both queens lacked a lot of energy. I really hated it that Layla McQueen took off her shoes. My biggest pet peeve of all when a drag queen is performing is when they take off their shoes. It's like, really? You're taking away the whole illusion for me, honey. And then closer to the end of the lip sync, it turned more into a strip show. Layla had ripped off her entire dress, and Dax ripped off like half of his outfit, and I just didn't get it. I thought it was a really, really weak performance. So after the lackluster lip sync, RuPaul revealed his final decision. And guess what? Both of you are going home. Ah! I have to say, I saw that coming a mile away. So I have to say, I'm pretty disappointed to see Layla McQueen get sent home. I didn't care for her when I first saw the Meet the Queen videos, but I was starting to warm up to her a lot. Dax exclamation point was definitely the weakest of the bunch, so I was not disappointed at all to see him sent home. So after both Layla McQueen and Dax exclamation point sashayed away, RuPaul asked Michelle Visage for her phone. Question: where's your phone, RuPaul? Where are you hiding it? RuPaul then dialed the number on the phone. Someone that we don't know picked up, and then RuPaul said, I just had to eliminate 2 queens. How soon can you get here? Suspense. I wonder who's going to come back. I really hope they don't bring Naysha Lopez back, the queen eliminated in the first episode, because I just didn't care for her. Maybe they'll bring back someone from a previous season? Who knows? But so far, only 9 girls remain. So thank you all so much for watching this video. I will be back next week with another recap, and I cannot wait to find out what queen is coming back. Thanks so much, and have a great day, and don't forget to subscribe. Bye!